one of the things that God laid on my heart really strong was that in the trials that I feel, I've sometimes used this phrase like, it's just so heavy. It's like a heavy weight. And the Lord showed me something that when I feel that there's something that's, most of our trials are not that heavy. Like Paul said, it's light affliction. And what I felt is the reason why I felt so many things were so heavy is because there was fear. It wasn't the trial itself that was heavy. It was the fear that was heavy. The fear made it heavy. It was the fear that God wouldn't help. That's what made all these things that I felt so heavy, so heavy. There was a fear there. And I saw that recently, that if there's something I'm like, wow, Lord, this is so hard. If there's hope, then it's so much easier to bear, so much lighter. And so I saw, when I feel something is so heavy, I should come to the Lord and say, Lord, is there any lack of faith here? Is there any fear, lack of hope, that you won't work it for good, that you won't help? And is there something I should pray against, some promise I should claim? Because most of our affliction is pretty light. And if I have a hope in the Lord, then it will be like that. And it's kind of like I've thought of this illustration before of two kids in a car. Both of them, let's say that they're on a long car ride, really long, road trip, and they haven't hit a restaurant for a while, and they're both really hungry. One of them is 2 years old, and one of them is 6 years old. And so they're both crying because they're so hungry. It's been so long. But the dad says to them, don't worry, it's only the restaurant is only 3 minutes away. We're about to have food. The 6-year-old understands that, and instantly the hope cures his hunger, and his pain is almost gone because he's like, oh, thankfully, I'm thankful I'm about to get food, because he has hope. But the 2-year-old doesn't understand, so he doesn't have hope, so he keeps screaming. The 6-year-old can be comforted, but the 2-year-old can't. That's the difference between hope and no hope. The weight is heavy when there's fear and no hope. But if we have hope in the Lord, the weight is light. And so I felt that that's the way that my life has to glorify God is, yeah, Lord, whatever problems I have, they're pretty light because I have such hope in you. The fear is gone. I don't fear that I won't work out anymore. That's the kind of faith that has to plead, that makes God smile. And so, and this other phrase was on my heart. Don't let anyone steal your crown. And I felt that sometimes one word can come along from somebody, some coworker or something, some difficult friend or family member or something, and they can steal the joy, they can steal the hope with one word, but don't let anyone take it. Don't let anything stop us from rejoicing in the Lord, and hold fast to the hope that we have. And just one last thing, my daughter, so Juliana was doing some school, and she was had to do some assignment on her own. Oh, Jessica and I weren't in the room at the time, and she was so scared. I was like, just do the work. You know how to do it. And so I said, how do you spell this word? When I was there, she could like spell it. But then when I was leaving, she's like, I can't do it. I'm like, you just did it. Just do it, and I'll come back and look. And she's like, she said, but I'll get it wrong. And so I said, just get it wrong then. The main thing is that you do it. And she's like, get it wrong? And then she had, okay. And then she had such boldness, her fear. When the fear was gone, she had such hope. It's like, yeah, I can do it. It's okay if I get it wrong. And so I see that's exactly how God does to us. He gives us boldness by saying, giving us hope that I'll work it out. I'll help you. Because I told her, I'm going to come back and correct anything that you get wrong. And so just write whatever you want and get it wrong. It's like, you have to write something, because she was sitting there for 10 or 15 minutes without even one letter on her paper because she was so paralyzed. And so I saw how that's just two pictures of one life that doesn't glorify God and one life that does glorify God. The one that glorifies God is characterized by hope. And one characteristic of that is, yeah, things are pretty light because I just know God is going to help. So that word has been on my heart, that please God by being full of hope.